15, 10, 5, touchdown, Kansas City. Handoff, Damian Williams trying to get to the edge, breaks a tackle, 35, 30, Damian Williams, 20, stays in bounds, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Kansas City. Damian Williams runs to immortality and will be remembered forever in the Chiefs' kingdom. A 38-yard touchdown run, and the Chiefs lead 30-20.
Did Mitch Holtis just misspeak there? What he meant was McCole Hardman runs to immortality and will be remembered forever. Brian B. Shinen, welcome to Chatting Up the Chiefs Postgame. Clint Schweitzer, Noah Groniger, and our great friend Brian B. Shinen, Brian Brooks, Hot 103 Jams, and guys, we're all in a good mood. I've already got the bye week vibe going. I'm in a good mood. Let's celebrate this win, Brian. You got a lot to say. McCole Hardman. Well, let's just start there. 3 touchdowns, and we anoint Sweet Prince, McCole Hart. Well, welcome to the NFL, buddy.
I mean, look, I told you, man. Look, it takes coaching. It takes a good scheme. It takes a good offense to use players how they need to be used. And I think that, for the most part, was the issue with McCole Hardman. You know, you're looking for Tyreek Hill. He ain't him. Now, can he be like him in 2016, 2017, when he was more of a gadget player? He was a kick returner, punt returner, jet sweeps guy. Maybe you run him on the inside a couple times or so. I don't know. But more gadget McCole, that's where he is at his best. And you saw it today. He was out Debo and Debo Samuels. I mean, he's the best player at that position. I feel like Debo Samuels at that running wide receiver, I like to call it. And McCole today outdueled him in a big way. 3 tutties. Nobody saw that coming, even from me, who is a McCole Hardman supporter when used in the right way. He's not going to be a traditional XY receiver. He's going to be a gadget guy that you got to create things for. Now, let me say this. I think today's game will outprice McCole Hardman for the Chiefs going into next year. But that's fine, though. Contract year for him. Let him ball out and do his thing.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I don't think I'm ready to eat crow on McCole Hardman. I don't think I'll ever do that. It only took him 3.5 years to have a pretty good game. 2 jet sweeps, pretty easy stuff there. The one around the right side, down the right sideline was a good play, and McCole was kind of hurdling guys getting into the end zone there. That was good stuff. But what did you think about this running game, Brian? I got to get into this. Pacheco gets the start, 8 for 43, 5.4 yards a carry. Even Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 32, but at 5.3 yards a carry. McKinnon, 6 yards a carry. I mean, McCole, 14 yards a carry. Just what'd you make of this offensive line, this run game, the whole package?
So I was watching a game with my brother, Jared Brooks, who is a defensive coordinator at Hazelwood Central in St. Louis. And he was pointing out that the Chiefs were kind of running the 49ers plays. And there were a lot of plays that Nick Bosa was out there just on an island. Like, I thought the Chiefs executed very well on the field. But I thought in preparation for the game and scheme-wise, Lord have mercy, today was a masterclass for Andy Reid. He outthunk Kyle Shanahan on so many ways to where Nick Bosa was effective a couple of plays. I think he had a sack, maybe a sack and a half. But there were so many plays where they ran right at him, and he was on an island. He didn't know where to go because he didn't know where the play was going. And he was, when the thing is, when you play on defensive line, when they leave you unblocked, some bull crap is going on. So you kind of, going which every way direction they had Nick Bosa going today. I thought it was a masterful game plan from Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. Golly, it was poetry in motion the way that they were running the ball today, especially in your traditional run game with Pacheco. Hey, they made that report for a reason today. Him being a starter over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't think that's nothing to to dust under the rug. Why they made that a big deal today, and I think they kind of showcase his skill set. He looked like a bull in a china cabinet today. He's a very violent runner, and it's going to do the Chiefs some good once he really gets a hold of the offense.
And this stat here just blew me away. When you look at Kyle Shanahan now dropping to 1-30 when they trail by 3 points going into the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes goes to 14-9 when trailing by 10 or more points. My goodness, that is unprecedented. And the Chiefs taking the show on the road. I mentioned it in the pregame about how there is a different level of focus, it seems like, when this team goes on the road, specifically to play against the NFC. Now, Brian, we have not seen a Chiefs win in San Francisco or Santa Clara or San Jose, wherever the hell they play, since 1971. 5 trips, 5 losses. There is a different level of focus in this offensive energy that is brought on the road. We saw it against Tampa Bay. We're seeing it here. Did not see it against Indianapolis. Different story, different time. We saw it in Arizona. But man, today when you go against this top 5 defense in the league here that was getting healthy, we saw Nick Bosa back. We saw a ridiculous penalty called on Jarrett McKinney that was trying to chip him on a touchdown. But you got to love what you saw to these receivers. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster, 7 catches over 100 yards. MVS, 3 catches for 111. That's like the dream scenario for when you get a guy like MVS that can stretch the field and kept drives alive that led to touchdowns. Huge. Travis Kelce, 6 for 98. I just wanted a touchdown or 100 yards for National Tight End Day. But hey, Brian, I'm a guy. We can't have it all, right? You know, in this world, we don't always get what we want, have our cake and eat it too. But overall, everything about this just went right. You mentioned the game plan. A+ all around here, at least for this offense.
But yeah, for the offense, I thought the defense looked really good today in a lot of spots. Some spots, and we got out executed, but for the most part, the defense played a really good game. How about those young defensive backs? We'll get into that a little later on. But special teams, that's becoming an issue for me. If there's a critique, that is something that I'm not feeling, because that's not a characteristic of a championship team. Most of the championship teams, you look back who win Super Bowls, they're pretty well buttoned up on special teams. And it's like this team is a complete opposite. Sky Moore has no business returning kicks right now.
McColl just earned himself another job.
Well, just put McColl back there. McColl's not starting at wide receiver. He's not on the field every play. I don't understand why, and he's good at it. He's good at kicking at returning kicks and punts. I don't understand that. And Bucker, I don't understand the issue with him and these short kicks. He'll bomb the hell out of a 62-yarder, and it'll be right down the line. But then, if it's 30 and under, he kind of struggles with that. And that's been like his story throughout his career, kind of, sort of. But the special teams is concerning to me a little bit, because you don't want to get into a close game with Buffalo and gusty winds and Orchard Park in January, and it's icy and the conditions are bad. And then you got, Bucker missing a crucial kick in late in the third quarter when the Chiefs are trying to take control of the game, or Sky Moore muffing a punt in a crucial situation when it's like 3 minutes left and the Chiefs are up 3 points, and we're trying to take control of the game. He muffs a punt, the Bills get it back. God forbid, it's already happened twice now. And the Chiefs were so powerful enough to overcome that. That's what was impressive to me. I thought the Chiefs left a couple of points on the field, especially with Bucker missing 3
and a penalty,
and the penalty. So, but man, hats off to the offense and the defense for overcoming, the special teams blunder.
Yeah, we got our guy coming in here, Jason Dunn, everybody, former Chiefs tight end, contributor for Chiefs Concerns.
And it's National Tight End Day. Well, happy National Tight End Day, Jason Dunn.
Thank you very much. Can y'all hear me?
Absolutely. I know that you tight ends like to celebrate privately, but today you had Travis Kelce, 6 for 98, and George Kittle, 6 for 98, a touchdown for Kittle. Couldn't get Kelce the 100 or a touchdown today, but National Tight Ends Day, we still celebrate our guy, and a big win today, my friend.
Hey, man, listen, I was waiting for him to get the 100. I know Andy had dialed something up for him at the end to try to get that,
right,
just a little bitty, but it's all right, though. It was okay. So, the guys enjoyed it. We got a win today. Got to see some guys from the tight end U, right? George Kittle and those guys that kind of got to embrace each other toward the end. But man, look, hey, I appreciate it. And I sent a picture out to some of my tight end buddies for National Tight Ends Day. We absolutely just enjoyed it, just watching these guys go out there and battle. This is a good game. Great game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask you kind of what you saw, especially from this offense. They were firing on all cylinders. Everybody was kind of worried going into the game. The Niners are getting healthy now. Oh, no, Nick Bosa's back. Talanoa Hufanga, who had an interception early in the game, is back and looking like Troy Polamalu out there early in his second season throughout these 6 weeks. And now the Chiefs come out here. They blow the doors off them. The offensive line played well. The tackles played well. The running game was getting you enough to make the Niners respect it. And then the receivers went crazy. What'd you make of this offense, Jason?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it started early in the week when Patrick was talking about guys focusing up. After you take that L, he said, look, guys are going to evaluate the film, see what went wrong, and we just started to focus up. And I think that when they came back in, you can tell that they had a game plan together, what they wanted to do, right? Obviously, the interception at the first kind of throws people out. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. But those guys, they were relentless. And you could see it. You could just see how they were just attacking the defense. That none of the guys, they had attitudes. I seen Kelsey come out there, he kind of threw a guy's arm off of him. I mean, I love that. These guys just had a will that just was not going to quit. They were just going to give this game away. I don't care. To them, they made sure when they came into this game, it was going to be an all-out brawl, okay? And so I put this on Twitter saying, man, I said, I'm sorry for, breaking up the Christian McCaffrey party, but hey, they had to do what he had to do, okay? Don't take it personal, but that's just how it goes, man. It's just how it goes. But I think they did a wonderful job just executing plays, like you said, as far as up front, making the blocks and the schemes, for Mecole Hardman. Didn't he have a day? It's crazy how he just came in and just blew it out the water. So Juju, and I told people this. I said, you just got to be patient with these guys. These guys are veteran guys. They've been places where they won before. You just got to let everybody gel together. Just give it time, right? And everybody was just so incensed and irate. Oh, I can't listen. Look, you got the best quarterback in football. You got the best tight end in the game. Okay, you got a wonderful offensive line. Hadn't been like that as consistent all year, but know that you got veteran guys on there. And so it just takes some time. You got the best coach in the game. These guys are going to get it right. And so we seen that today. And so the things I seen on film when I watched on TV was very promising, kind of going into the future.
I kind of want to get everyone's opinion here on this because Brian briefly mentioned Sky Moore in the intro. Another muff punt here that cost the Chiefs a touchdown, and it kind of had makings of the Indianapolis game all over again. An early muff punt that changes momentum, changes field position, 7 on the board. What do you make of this? Starting with you, Jason, just what do the Chiefs do here? Brian mentioned the easy fix. Do you just give Mecole Hardman his job back as punt returner? He's doing a great job in the gadget game right now, giving you some big time yards on jet sweeps and getting him out in open space. So what do the Chiefs do to get this momentum turned around on special teams? Because Sky Moore fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What does Dave Tobin do here with this Sky Moore second round pick?
Oh man, you know what? That's kind of the frustrating thing. But I said this. I said that Mecole Hardman should have been put back there anyway. I mean, you need a guy who has like that wiggle, who can make guys miss. Who has the potential to break it out each and every time. And I get, the gadget plays that Mecole's doing, but the more you can do, the better off you're going to be. You're just going to put a guy that's consistent back there. And I hate it for Sky, man. I really like Sky. I think he's a very talented receiver. I think they're trying to mold him into being a return guy. But, hey, man, you got to do what you have to do. And so the same thing kind of like special teams wise, because, I used to be a special teams coach, a coordinator, all right? The same thing kind of with Buckner, like, some of the misses and the kicks, man. It's just up and down. Pacheco did a much better job returning the ball, okay? The first few games, it was just horrible. It was just horrible as far as, like, special teams wise. But it's just got to be a little bit more consistency there, especially on that part of the team. But with Sky, and I was talking with Warfield and some other guys about this. I think Sky is a guy that needs multiple reps to kind of get going. You know, like kind of picking and choosing him in and out. He's more of a guy like you got to give him volume. You got to give him like a feel more of the game as sitting him down, especially as a rookie. And I made this point. I said, like, almost like Olave and those guys. If you had him in there where it was just kind of him, you know, he's got guys in front of him. I think he'll be a guy that would absolutely produce if he was like a main guy. If he was really like the third receiver, it might be a different thing. I really do. But where he's just kind of spotty putting him in, and then all of a sudden he's asking return punts, you know, it's a little tough, man. It's a little tough. But I do say that. My point is, I do believe McCole Hardman needs to be back there. That's just me.
Brian, are you in agreement there?
Oh, most certainly. Now I want to add to it that you know, I'm a fan of playing young guys. Mm-hmm. Most certainly with you know, the defensive backs. I'm all on board with playing the rookies.
Yeah.
But it's just that the punt returns, the game flips so much at that point. Like if you make a mistake, your room for error is so small. Right. And it can flip the game like it did in Indianapolis. Like we started off on the wrong foot and we ended up on that same foot because of the Sky Moore play that happened. What that was after a 3-and-out, right? And it was the first possession, and it was a 3-and-out. They punt the ball, you muff the ball, you muff it. The Chiefs have all the momentum at that point if you just simply fair catch it or get out of the way or what have you. But point being made, that's why I don't want to put a young guy, inexperienced guy rather, back there. Who could possibly flip the game. Now, thank God the offense overcame that today. But suppose that the 49ers get the momentum at that point and we don't get a turnover to save himself right there. You never know what could happen at that point.
Right. Noah, where are you at with this? We kind of talked during the game. My immediate thought, and I tweeted it, just Sky Moore just fired. And obviously that's hyperbolic. That's melodramatic. That's
you.
That's how I am. And you just got to learn to love it, everyone. But no, like Jason said, and people have said in the comments here, you know, he's going to get better with time. But how much time do we have here? These are very costly. Noah, as the bye week approaches, how do you sort of massage this receiving core? We want to see Sky get more time at the receiver position, but at the detriment of these special teams mistakes. I don't know really how you work him in, kind of what you do right now.
Yeah, I'm with these guys. I think you got to put McCole back there as the punt returner and kind of take that off Sky's plate. Let him focus on being a receiver. And like Jason said, I think he needs more reps. Get him in there as the third guy, as the legit third guy. McCole can be in there for his jet sweeps, his screens, some of the gadget stuff. But Sky needs to be your legit third receiver. Get the reps, not coming in and out. Just a few snaps here, a few snaps there. I think he needs those reps. And I think as the season progresses, I think that's kind of where we're going because we're seeing them go more towards this game. And I think with McCole as a gadget guy, I think they're going to continue on. They're seeing the success that that's having. And we've kind of seen that for some years. And we're kind of wondering why Andy Reid hasn't gone to that more. I think they're finally realizing like this receiver thing, the route running, the ball location, the chemistry with Patrick Mahomes and McCole Hardman, for whatever reason, just isn't there. Traditional wide receiver thing for McCole Hardman's just not working out. So we've got to go to this gadget thing. And this is his contract year. The contract year is undefeated. So I think the rest of the season, we're going to see a big year out of McCole Hardman. But I think he takes over the punt return duties. And yeah, Sky Moore is more your number 3 wide receiver.
What about the big picture here, guys? Jason, the Chiefs get a win today. They go to 5-2, head into the bye week. You know, save for a couple situations that you got to love where the Chiefs are at right now. First place in the AFC West. The Chargers lose today again they lose to the Seahawks at home. So the Chiefs are 5-2, Chargers 5-3. The Raiders win, but the Broncos lose again. They're 2-5. When you looked at this division race going in, it looked like, man, this was going to be a war. It still absolutely could be, but you've just got to love where the Chiefs are 5-2 heading into this bye. It's got to feel really good if you're a Chiefs fan right now, does it not?
No doubt about it. You know, the thing is, it's about the long game to me. You know, really.
Yeah.
And as being a player, you kind of understand that. You know, the first few things you try to set yourself up for success, trying to get to the playoffs, but it's all about development, right? And you know, time with the work happens and stuff like that. You just gelling together. But 5-2, I mean, we easily, like Brian was saying, some of the things that we did, we could easily be 7-0. I mean, had the Bills beat last week, you could be undefeated. I mean, seriously. And so, people were just before the season like, oh man, we'd be happy to be. Man, we're 5-2. We just beat the number one defense, who was supposed to be just lights out. Just what are we gonna do with these guys? Hey, these guys are going to get a break. They're going to evaluate some of these things. They're going to evaluate, obviously, the special teams, who are going to be returning the football. Trust me, that is all on the table. I guarantee you that is going to have that conversation all during the bye week, what's going on. And I just kind of want to make this point. When you have a guy who's a rookie, who's not getting a lot of work, especially in a game, how much pressure that is when he's only out there for, punt returns. It's tough to do because it's like that's your chance, that's your spot, right? And you can't mess up. And then when you mess up, it's like the world is on your shoulder. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just. And so, like I said before, I feel for Scott, but like Noah was saying, if you get him working in as the number 3 and stuff, and it's not a traditional offense by no means, right? It's just it is what it is. We don't necessarily have a number 1. Juju is kind of coming out because he's just been that guy. MVS showed a lot today. Because he was, kind of got open. Travis is always going to be that guy. But because the offense looks the way that it does, Scott could get some more reps. He really can, right? And so 5-2 at the bye week, it's perfect, man. Hey, you can't ask for anything better than that, to be honest with you, other than the 7-0, right?
Man, look, so going into Thanksgiving, the Chiefs really could have a mighty, mighty strong stranglehold on the AFC West. After the bye week, Titans, Sunday Night Football, Jaguars at home, at the Chargers. Now, that at Chargers is going to be tough. And I'm not saying that any of these are for sure wins or any of that because this is the National Football League. You saw the Panthers did what they did to Tom Brady and the Buccaneers today. Everybody's a professional athlete in this league. So let's keep that perspective. But with that being said, if the Chiefs played their A game, like today, offensively and defensively, I thought they had an A game, both sides of the ball, not special teams. But if they played that type of ball coming up in these next 3 games, going into Thanksgiving, going into that Rams game, you got 2 Broncos games and a Raiders game. And that'll give the Chargers, 4 losses at least, because they have 3 now. And then you add the 1 and perhaps maybe they lose another or something like that. Maybe that's 5 losses for them at that point.
Why not?
With about 6 or 7 games to go. And so you feel like the Chiefs really have control of the division now. You're 2 games up on the Chargers because 1 game up on the standings, the other because we beat them. Raiders, they're not even close, and you have another game up on them, 2-3. So that's 4 games up on the Raiders. So the Chiefs just have to take care of business, just be consistent, and continue to get better. That's what I saw today. That was the thing that I saw today that really was encouraging, was that the offense is getting better. And I think people are starting to really fit into their roles and kind of know what they're doing now. And I think the play calling is reflecting that. You saw MVS getting open and beating the former Chiefs Charvarius Ward. You saw Juju out there getting busy in the middle of the field, creating plays. And I think a lot of that was going through Kelsey, because Kelsey was eating early on. And then they started to pay attention, a little close, too much attention to Kelsey. And that running game was hitting them. And that just opens everything up. And that's what we've been preaching on this show and on StarKmedia.com, is that when you get the run game going and you get them going horizontally, you can do everything else. When you get Kelsey to go eat, everything else opens up. It's football 101. And the Chiefs perfected their game plan today, and they were outstanding in execution.
Yeah, and Brian, right there, you talked about Travis Kelce eating. I mean, obviously, George Kittle got his against Jalen Watson for that touchdown. And we've got a question here from our guy, Chase Riley of CR Media. Question for Jason Dunn, since it's National Tight End Day. How has the tight end position changed since you played the game? Obviously, it started changing as you were playing alongside Tony Gonzalez, the guy that was starting to change the position. And we've seen it grow with Antonio Gates, Gronkowski, Kelce. We've got Mark Andrews out there, obviously George Kittle. So, Jason, how has it changed since you were in the league?
I mean, the easy answer is, they're throwing the football a lot more than what they used to. I mean, you're not really seeing a lot of guys getting, over the 1,000 yards rushing or 1,500. You're just not seeing that. And so I think a lot of that, because what they're doing is more of a passing league, that's where it's changed a little bit. And I look at these guys, it's almost funny because I see them and they're weighing around 250. 250. I remember I came out of college. My college coach told me, he said, man, you got to gain weight. I played around 254, and I was just like, man, but I was blocking defensive ends. I was inline block. You had to do those things. When I came in, you had a Mark Barbaro types. You had big guys, Cal Brady. You had big tight ends that was doing
Ben Winter Coates.
Coates, yes sir.
Great one.
Yeah, and so when you think about that, like the smaller guys are like Shannon, who you didn't really think was a tight end. Shannon was trying to do everything to hold on to his butt to block somebody. He was just trying to get in people's way. That was it. And so now you see more of that. Guys are just lined up wide or moving around. But that is the difference right now, because it's more of a passing league. Guys look at that as far as productivity, and so I think as far as blocking, in-line blocking is lost art.
Jason, I got to take you in our way back machine a little bit, because the Chiefs hadn't won in San Francisco or beaten the 49ers on the road since 1971. We got to go back 22 years where you guys played the 49ers, kind of a forgettable game, lost 21-7 there to Jeff Garcia and the Niners. But if you recall, since it's National Tight Ends Day, Tony Gonzalez took out a cameraman on the sideline, saved his life because they found the man had a brain tumor. Do you remember this game? Do you remember this situation?
No. After you said that, I do kind of vaguely remember something like that, but I had no idea. That's crazy.
22 years ago, almost to the day. Wow. Tony Gonzalez, he took out a cameraman. He was knocked out. Yeah. They took him to the hospital, did a CAT scan, found out he had a brain tumor, and they never would have caught it in time. He saved the man's life. And that was just, because the Chiefs and Niners don't play often every 8 years out there. That's just a memory I have. And I know you were on the team at that time. So kind of a random way back machine memory right there.
I recall that story. That was, was that the 2001 season?
2000.
The 2000 season. Okay. Yeah. I remember that.
That's fortunate. Did anybody ever do an update on the guy?
Yeah, they did like a kind of a little documentary on it, and the guy was just, he and Tony had become friends and forever grateful. And what a deal that was, because what started as just a very non-memorable Chiefs loss. That was your first year in Kansas City, so that was in the middle of like a 6-game losing streak. So understandable.
Bring back all the feel-good memories, Jason.
Right, well, yeah. We don't win out there very often, so this was a good one today. Good one to get off the back, and Patrick Mahomes 14-9 now against teams when going down by 10 or more. It's a testament to this coaching staff, to this team, to this offense, to the schemes, everything about it. So you got to feel really good about things going into the bye. I don't know what else, guys. This was a game that you needed to see happen. I think I picked 31-24 for this offense to put up 42 points. It got a safety. You just got to be in awe of that with this Niners scoring defense the way it had been. So all in all, just big time performance today. I don't know what else we could say about it, but just very exciting.
I mean, it just shows like it's the Chiefs played their A game against the number one defense in the NFL, and they took their suitcases with them on the road.
Yeah.
And it just shows that when the Chiefs play their A+ game, when they are at their best, I think they're unbeatable. I do. Put your Buffalo out there. Put your Philadelphia out there. Do whatever you want to do. But as far as in the headset, we're A1. At the quarterback, we're A1. And in this era of football, those are two of the biggest keys of success in my mind. And bravo to Andy Reid putting together a great game plan and the fellas going out and executing. Those young guys on that back end, I'll end with this. Those young guys on the back end are looking better. They're looking better. I'm not going to say they're looking great or anything like that, but just notice how better everybody is getting. The defensive backs on the back end, the offense is starting to click now, and the play calling is starting to get better. So the Chiefs are getting better.
We're seeing more out of Frank Clark, Carlos Dunlap. They both had good games. We're still kind of waiting for George Karlaftis to come on. He's a hustle guy. He's getting in, second guy on a tackle, making a play. So we've got that. He's got the motor. And we've got Trent McDuffie and Rashad Fenton coming back as well. So, Brian, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Chris Jones, this is the second game in a row where I've seen Chris Jones play on that defensive end on the edge, and he's looking outstanding out there. Contract year for him, low key as well.
This year.
No, but this year, I think because it's not out in the open and everybody's not, I don't think everybody is prepared for it all the time, number one. And number two, they're picking their spots. They're using them in spots, rest situations. And I think that the Colin Saunders getting better is giving the Chiefs the versatility to put him outside in certain pass situations.
Well,
We're just
guys,
work on Isaiah Pacheco chipping the defensive end, because on the one sack that they got, Nick Bosa against Andrew Wiley, he came in and got Mahomes. Pacheco was about to chip and then dipped under it. I don't think he wanted the contact and went out into the flat. So we're going to have to get him chipping.
He maybe didn't want the penalty again.
True.
McKinnon already had one, and today was just flag city. I will say that, man. And most of the calls were on the Niners. I don't have the numbers in front of me about the penalty yards, but the Niners were constantly putting themselves behind the chains, Jason. But a lot of the times they were getting out of it with big plays on 1st and 20. So Brian talked about these, the secondary. They're learning, they're growing. Jason, have you seen enough from the Joshua Williams, from the Jalen Watsons? We know what L'Jarius Sneed is. Have you seen enough of this group kind of growing together to feel good about things going forward, especially with who we have coming back?
No, absolutely. No doubt about it. I said that last week when, everybody was kind of crying on, Joshua Williams going against Davis and Diggs one-on-one. My thing was, go ahead and put him in the fire. If he didn't believe he had the skill set, he wouldn't put him out there. And he knows, look, and Spags knows him better than we do, okay? He's evaluating him every single day. He's measuring and this mindset as far as how this guy plays. And so I'm always like this. You develop a guy like that early, it's going to pay off. I mean, he's a 4th-round pick for a reason, right? And so a guy like this was going to get some playing time. It was you shouldn't put him in that situation. So when are you going to take the training wheels off, right? Why not do it against the best? Devontae Adams, did he got Diggs and them coming in? It's a perfect time because they're just going to develop. And so what I love about it is a young group like them is just, they are gelling together. You can see that they challenge each other all the time, and they got each other's back. Is it going to be pretty? The growing pains? It's not always going to be pretty. We know that. There's some things you had to give up. There's some things you had to necessarily put in there, right, that we just don't necessarily like. But what I love about these guys is how they respond when something does go wrong, right? They don't make the play. They don't hang their head. They don't just keep giving things up. They actually sit back and refocus, and they get themselves back together. Like I watched Joshua Williams, actually, his technique later on in the game was almost flawless. I watched his feet. I watched his upper body. How he could just tell he was just ready for another challenge. And it didn't seem like everything was too big for him. So I'm one of those, man, just as being a coach, as a player, you want to be able to have that. You want to have a coach to actually have that confidence in you so you go out there and try to make a play. Okay? And so that's what I love about this secondary, man. I said this. I said they're going to be the best secondary within a couple of years. Now, and they're on that path right now. And these guys are growing together. They're young. They're hungry. I love everything about them. And so, look, and I'm going to say this. I think the way the guys are playing, you work, McDuffie and those guys, get them back. If they're healthy, kind of work them in. If these guys are playing at a high level, don't disrupt anything, right? I mean, because these guys have been out. Here's the thing about it. These guys have been out. They still got to get their feet wet and stuff like it. The bye week's going to be a perfect time, right? It's like, okay, how are we doing? It's the same thing. Like if somebody's playing at a high level, do you take him out because of this? Or is he, do you disrupt that, right? And so I don't know. I'm saying is Williams better than Fenton? I think that's the question. All right, put it out there. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it.
It's fair.
He's a bigger corner. Okay, he's got a lot more range, right? And he plays big. We know that. So that's one of those things they have to evaluate. What do you want to do? So it might be unpopular with some people, but with me, I'm evaluating something as a coach. Bling, I'm gonna put that check in there. And I'm watching this film.
Yeah, I like Fenton. I've liked Fenton this whole time until this season, and he's shown me he's not getting his head around. Lots of penalties, kind of panicking when the ball's in the air, grabbing the receiver. And so I'm just looking at this and wonder, hey, we got a little guy over here. How's it going?
Whoa.
Welcome to
What's
the show.
up?
Hello.
Is that a
is this?
You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Hello.
What's up, bro?
Hey, this right here, this is okay. If y'all believe it, this is my grandson. all right?
What?
I'm not old enough to be. I know it. Believe me. I'm not. This is my man right here. It's my guy. Yeah.
He's got a Panther shirt on. Big win for the Carolina Panthers today, or is that his youth team?
It's his youth team.
Oh, gotcha. Awesome.
So yeah. So I missed the first quarter of the game because I was watching him. He comes first before anything else. You know?
How did we do today?
How'd you do?
Good.
Did you get? What was the? Did you guys win?
No.
Man. But you got your
okay.
touchdown. He played hard.
Good.
What position does he play?
Running back, receiver. You know, they do it all in
Wherever they need him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Love it.
No.
Well, that is tremendous. I tell you, I also want to give a shout out to Chief Concerns, as Jason does a great job with Chief Concerns, does shows with them during the week, does great stuff. Chief Concerns, check them out for sure. And guys, it's feel good right now. This is this time where we can all just kind of sit here and chant Kumbaya and light a flame and hold some hands. This is how I like to go to a bye week. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, relax. Just relate, relax, release. Next week, just turn your red zone on and watch football the entire day. Put your feet up. We don't have to stress over a dub or getting an L next week. And then, hey, see you later, bro. And then, prepare for the Tennessee Titans against the world, where we'll get petty Patrick Mahomes back at it again, maybe possibly against my rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year candidate, Malik Willis.
Yes.
Tennessee Titans coming to TEHA Field. I told you it was going to happen in the middle of the season, Noah. I told you.
Ryan Tannehill went down with an injury. Malik Willis came in. And just the one last thing here, guys, before we go. Jason Dunn, I hate to push back against a former player. You played the game. You know it better than I do. The X's and O's of that Bills game. Obviously, Spags felt like he needed to bring the blitz, and so they were leaving the guys kind of out on an island, and the blitz was working. It was rushing the play, even if they didn't get home. It was rushing Josh Allen, getting the ball to Sam quick. But they did still have a single high safety, and personally, I thought they should have shaded it over to Josh Williams' side. He's new. It's his first time out there. He is going up against Diggs and Davis. So just that's my only pushback there, and I just want to get your thoughts on shading the safety to his side.
I mean, you can shade the safety to the side. Here's the thing, though. With that type of ball that was thrown to him, there's not going to be a lot of guys that are going to be able to go over and make that play. I mean, it was just a perfect ball. It was a great look. It's a great quarterback throwing a great receiver, right, making a play. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen against the best corners, right, regardless of how much help you may give him, you may not. And the thing is, even in everything that you do defensively, there's always an opening. I mean, it always is. And so what do? Leave the middle open? Is there somebody else to leave one-on-one? And so that's how these things also work. So we're not saying that, well, okay, we're giving help over top. Well, who else is going one-on-one against, against maybe Davis or something on that side, right? So I looked at it like this. Should he have gotten help? Yeah, maybe, but I wasn't upset with the call. I'm going to put it that way. I wasn't upset with it. And to me, it didn't lose the game for us, right? So it's like, hey, we trust this guy, okay? 2 big plays on their side, but the Chiefs was in it to win. That's the way I look at it. So it's always measured at risk and reward. As a coach, you got to look at these things, okay? And I got to trust my guys. If I'm looking at my guy in his eyes and I've seen what he can do out there, I'm going to trust him. I'm going to have to at some point. And like I said, he's going to grow because of it. He's going to get better because of it. The whole secondary is getting better because of it. And like Brian said, when you see them kind of gelling together, you see them kind of settling in, but they didn't win against the best, right? We done seen the best receivers in the game already.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when everybody else we see, hey, we ready for them, right? And so with pressure, it's always you got to give up something. Okay, that's always the risk of it. You got to give up something. But hey, man. Listen, you learn from it, you get better, and you move on. Like I said, it's all about the long game to me, okay? Well, come playoff time, these guys are going to be ready, okay? They're going to be hitting on all cylinders, man, and it's going to be scary. People just not going to understand how good this defense really is going to be when it comes playoff time. And I guarantee you, when it comes in with the Bills, if they are fortunate enough to make it, come through Arrowhead to come see us, right? These guys are going to be ready. Joshua Williams, he's going to remember. And so that's the way I look at it. So that's the only thing, Noah. That's how I feel.
Did you see Willie Gay and Nick Bolton out there getting busy? Woo! scary hours. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this defense they're young, they're reckless, and they're starting to know what they're doing. They're gonna be good by the end of the
Yeah,
season.
just think about this linebacker core. Think about Bolton and Gay versus, say, I don't know, Neiman and Hitchens from a couple years ago, and where this is at right now.
A couple years ago, from last year,
even.
Yikes!
So yeah, but the Chiefs have been drafting well, finding picks in the later rounds, doing a great job in the second round with what they've done, and that's building. And like Jason said, that will, I think, carry the day through the rest of the season. But guys, we cannot thank you enough for joining us. Be sure to be ready for Tuesday night, guys. You don't want to miss it. For Arrowhead Allies, Tuesday night's going to be huge. As always, check out Chief Concerns and Jason Dunn and everything he does with Marcus and the guys over there at Chief Concerns. Appreciate it so much. If you guys like this stuff, if you like us to have fun and just be talking about all these great things, then be sure to come back on Tuesday, because we're going to make it even more of a love fest with all 5 of us. So enjoy it. Enjoy the bye week. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks so much for being a part of Chatting Up the Chiefs.
Appreciate it, fellas.